Welcome to the Bonita Buzz. I am your host, Jenn Gregory, a local realtor here in Bonita Springs and Bonita Springs expert. Today, I have a guest, Patty Gerspach, and she's actually a really good friend of mine. I just don't say her last name a lot.
Gerspach.
So,
German.
Patty, interestingly enough, is a seasonal server. So I know there's probably a lot of, I know there's a lot of snowbirds out here in Bonita Springs. And have you ever wondered what happens to all the workers in the summertime? Well, there are kind of snowbirds too. So I wanted to talk to Patty a little bit about that. So tell me a little bit about your story and how you started becoming a seasonal server.
I started, I had a safety net. So I worked for Olive Garden and I knew that I could transfer. So I worked for Olive Garden, got trained in Michigan, and I knew I could transfer to Florida. You know, if you're a good server, they're not just going to let anybody. But so I did that, made all the right phone calls, talked to my boss, and set it up for Fort Myers. So I ended up, the first season was just going to be that. I was going to come in for 3 months. You know, we slow down in Michigan in the wintertime. So then I was going to come here, make bank, go back home. And my safety net was I already had the job. So I didn't know anybody. I thought I'm just going to do this once and check it out. And I fell in love with the whole snowbird idea.
Yeah.
So exactly that. I came in, I made friends, I had a great time. I mean, it's Florida. I was on the beach, you know, on my days off, and
in the winter,
and everyone was
making
freezing
money.
And hated me.
Yes.
Yeah. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this. So I did it for a few years in a row, and then little by little, I left Olive Garden after I think it was 10 years, and ended up at Bravo, where I met Miss Jenn. That's another story.
That's a whole nother podcast.
And so then it was the same thing. It was a corporate job, so I was able to just like that, make a phone call and say, hey, am I coming into town? Put me on the schedule. And then when I was ready to go back to Michigan, same thing, coming into town. So it started working for me. So I would just blow in, and I would either rent from a friend, or I'd find a place on Craigslist. And then as I did this through the years, I decided, I mean, I love this area. My first apartment was Bonita Stereo area. So I just kind of, you know, found jobs around that area. But Bonita Beach.
Yeah.
I've been Bonita Beach for, 20 some years. So, I mean, that's what I do. Now I live here. I'm a Naples resident, but all things Bonita. I love Naples. Just this whole area is fantastic. So, yeah, I mean.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So it's very popular. I did it for a while. I don't think I told that story, but I went back to Denver in the summer and worked at a restaurant there, and then came back in the winter. So it is nice, but it is an adjustment. You know.
Yeah, it is.
You come back, and then you I don't know, like we talked about, you take a day to maybe learn the computer system, the point of sale system. And then you're just right back in the flow. It's like you never left.
Really, it is. I mean, especially if you do it like I did. I had the job. That's why I stuck with corporate jobs for a while. I'm not at a corporate job now, but so I already knew the job when I showed up on the scene.
Exactly.
You know, from Olive Garden to Olive Garden, and then Bravo to Bravo.
The menu
and the menu and everything. So that made it a lot easier.
Right.
The hardest part, which I mean is hard for anybody, is showing up at a place where you don't know anyone. But you're going to do that. I mean, the server world, we're this whole culture of we're all best friends.
That's
I mean,
true.
it's just a thing,
Family,
right?
family
It
atmosphere,
is. So no matter where I'm going, from Michigan to Florida or Michigan to Michigan, a job or whatever, you know, you just kind of show up and you dance.
She does dance.
That's how I met Jenn.
It's true.
Everybody dance.
Yeah. We were all dancing.
What's your problem?
Yeah.
That's actually how I met Jenn. She kept laughing at me.
I did.
So,
From across the restaurant. She was over in the corner dancing, and I was just cracking up.
I approached her.
Yeah.
Why you gotta laugh at me like that? Come on. It's a dance party.
Every time you look at, all you have to do is look at me and you laugh.
I'm funny.
You are funny. I have to give you that. So let's transition a little bit. So actually, as we were recording this, I don't know when it's going to be aired, but or when you're watching it, you could watch it 3 years from now. I don't know. But it is October 1st, and
Is it really?
I am kicking off another 75 hard. I know. So
God bless you.
so if you don't know what 75 hard is, hats off to Andy Frisella. You can hop on over to his podcast, not his YouTube channel, but on the actual audio, because I think it's episode 208 on Andy Frisella. He talks about the 75 hard. He created it, but there's 5 or 6 things that you have to do every single day for 75 days, and it is hard if you aren't in that mode already. I've kind of been, I did 75 hard starting January 1st, 2024. And for 75 days, I did complete it. You know, you have to take a selfie just so you can record, you know, what you look like when you start, how your progress is. You have to do a 45-minute indoor workout, 45-minute outdoor workout. You have to follow a diet. It's not a fitness program, so he doesn't tell you what the diet is. You choose. So my diet was all natural foods, so nothing, no crap.
Nice.
No crap.
Yeah.
So basically just
It's a no crap diet.
Right. Meat,
I
vegetables.
take no crap, I eat no crap.
Exactly. And no alcohol. And at the time, of course, now it's New Year's Day, and I was thinking, oh, how am I going to get through this? Because, you know, I like my wine. I really do.
Yep,
and
she did.
I did. There's the clue.
She did.
So, yeah, it was a habit for me almost. It was, well, I don't want to say habit. It was a ritual. How about that?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I wasn't addicted to alcohol, but I liked it.
Yeah.
There's a difference. And so I thought I would have a really hard time with that, and I honestly did not. And after the program was over, the 75 days, actually it ended, oddly enough, on St. Patty's Day. So here I am like, oh my, I'm going to drink all this beer. It's going to be great. And I really just, after 75 days, just kind of lost the taste for it. It was kind of really bizarre. And it really hit me different. And I was like, how come I can drink half a beer and just not want the rest of it? That has never happened in my entire existence.
It's a mind thing. I think a lot of it. It's sobriety's cool, man.
So segue.
Sobriety's cool.
Patty's been sober for a very long time.
21 years.
Yeah, and so we're kind of we're doing this non-drinking thing, being, you know, non-drinkers in Bonita Springs. So we've been doing our research together a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we've been going out different places, you know, because it is possible to have a social life and not have alcohol.
Yeah.
And so experimenting with what different establishments in Bonita Springs have to offer.
Yeah.
Non-drinkers.
There's this whole culture rising up now. Sobriety is, it's, I don't want to say fashionable, but it's, a lot of people are getting on board with sobriety, whether it's well-being, health and wellness, or you ended up in jail. I don't. It's part of my story too.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, another podcast, another time. I'll introduce myself in baby steps. So, but I mean, sobriety. It's fascinating to me that a lot of people that I talk to won't go out and have a good time because think, well, I don't drink, you know, I can't go to those places. But I love to see a band.
Yeah.
We went and saw a band the other night, had a great time. We both had non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah, shout out to Sneaky Pete's.
Little
Come
lime.
on the show.
Yeah, Sneaky Pete's, yeah. And honestly, Sneaky Pete's, there's a seat for you here.
Yeah.
But
come promote your
bar. So that whole dark, you know, I can't go out and have fun anymore. I still have a really good time, whether it's, you know, hanging out with friends, and my friends drink. It doesn't bother me. It's my choice. But a lot of these places in Bonita, everywhere else, they need to get on board with more than just a non-alcoholic beer.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of mocktails out there. I just read this article recently called "What Do Bartenders Drink When They Don't Drink?"
Really?
I'll send it to you. Yeah, it was a really good article. Believe it or not, I think it was Town and Country.
Okay.
townandcountry.com, you could probably find it. But and there was a lot of good mocktails in there.
Right.
And stuff that's available. And that's another thing too. If you think you want to go out, and it's a social thing. I like a NA beer, but I mean, I could just have a San Pellegrino with a lime and be happy.
Exactly.
Put it in a wine glass. Now you're
Yes.
fancy,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
but that's what I do, and I still enjoy myself. But I mean, don't be afraid to ask a bartender, hey, can you make me a mocktail, and give them an idea.
Right.
A lot of the bartenders they just don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
because people aren't talking about
Right.
it. But with this culture getting bigger and bigger,
Right.
you still want I think they'll drive in more traffic if they have more options.
Right.
If
For
they
non-drinkers.
make it a thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sober and I love it, but give me some options here. I don't want to just have a San Pellegrino in a
Right.
wine glass.
So I actually did some research this week because I knew this topic was coming up, and I wrote down some of the Bonita establishments and what they have to offer as far as non-alcoholic.
Big deal.
So the general consensus, which was shocking to me because we just had this the other night, Sneaky Pete's, is Beck's non-alcoholic beer. So that one is
good.
actually outshining Heineken Zero. So I think last year everyone had Heineken Zero. This year they kind of switched over to Beck's. But those are the two. Now Figs in Bonita Springs has an actual import. I found this interesting and I want to go. Let's go to Figs.
We're going to Figs.
Yeah. It's
Meet us at Figs.
Butler's Holland non-alcoholic ale.
Oh.
Yeah. And they also had said that they offer mocktails. They have a whole menu of mocktails.
See, now that's nice.
Yeah.
They're all right.
So, and then let's see. We were talking about Beck's. Stella non-alcoholic is at sea level. That's what they offer. If I'm not mentioning it, it's usually Beck's or Heineken Zero. These are just the different ones.
Corona too.
Well, Iguana Mia. I think the Mexican restaurants, they are offering the Corona NA. Which is
Corona
really
NA
good
is
with
really
lime.
good. You got your little squeeze of lime, cold glass. Oh my gosh, the best.
The old Chop House at the Trianon, right over by the promenade, they actually offer the Athletica beer. Remember when we went to, where did we go to?
Whole Foods?
Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Now, it's a brewery specific to brewing non-alcoholic beer. And they offer the Athletica IPA and then the Golden Ale. So they're delicious.
Yeah, both really good.
And
then Klostaller has a grapefruit.
Yeah,
grapefruit beer. Yeah, we have that at my restaurant.
Okay.
Which is top secret information.
Oh yeah.
Where I work.
We don't want to get her in trouble. And then the British. Have you been to the British Open Pub? Do you even know where that is?
I do.
Yeah,
I do, and
they have. Oh, we've had this before.
Yeah,
I forgot all about this. We had this on. I think we had it on St. Patty's Day. But Guinness non-alcoholic, and it tastes just like regular Guinness. It's
it was really good.
Dark malty.
We had the bartender make us a black and tan,
we
right?
Did
with the Guinness NA and was it Beck's or was
it
was
Heineken Zero.
So
he layered it just like a regular black and tan.
Yeah, it's a thing. We're fancy.
I know.
Again.
So don't be afraid to ask your bartender.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like drinking, there's no shame in that game.
Right.
But again, so just talk about the the local spots. Now, like one of my favorite things to do is drink beer and watch football.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Lions won last night.
That's our
my Detroit. I grew up in Detroit, you guys. Detroit Lions fan. We're gonna win the Super Bowl. That's top secret information.
Right. So yeah, top secret. It's funny because I had Tanya on a couple episodes ago, and she's a huge Bears fan.
Oh,
and I had to
the
go
Bears
out and watch the Bears game with her. And of course, I'm a Packer fan, so I'm surrounded by all my rivals here. So now I got to go watch the Lions with her. It's but whatever. We're all still friends.
Lions and Bears.
Lions and Packers and Bears. Oh my.
Our Detroit Tigers are doing good too.
Yeah,
we're kicking butt.
So
woo-hoo, shout out Detroit.
Yeah. So anyway, what else we got going on?
I don't know. We got so much going on.
I know.
What else?
Let's talk about. So we're both, have like 50 different companies going on. Patty dabbles in a little bit of power washing for RVs, and then she also has this jerky.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, let's just it's not up and running yet, but it's an idea.
Yeah,
so
that's more top secret information.
Okay.
Yep, we'll be having
we're scouting out farmers markets to
vegan jerky with our non-alcoholic beers.
I know.
I'm watching football.
Are we a bunch of weirdos?
We really are weirdos. Want to hang with us? chicks are crazy.
I know. I did want to
Yeah.
talk about, like, there's a lot of pub crawls coming up because I'm collecting, like, information on events in Bonita Springs, and October is, like, just so full of them.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm collecting them. I'm going to do a separate segment on the Weekend Buzz just
Okay.
to keep everything organized and say, okay, what's going on this week and this weekend. But I did run into a couple pub crawls
Pub crawl.
in Bonita
So
Springs.
NA beer, you can pub walk. You don't have to crawl.
Exactly. Well, they have a bus
I know.
for all the drunks, but
You can walk onto the bus, not crawl onto it.
but
got-
Chartreuse. Let's shout out Chartreuse. I love that place. Have you been there?
I have not.
Okay.
We're going there
We're
too.
going. We're going to make a date.
Nina said chartreuse.
They have a full mocktail menu.
See, I love
Because
that.
what they do, I don't
that.
think they even have beer there. They might, I don't know, but you go there because it's craft cocktails.
Okay.
So and I love my craft cocktail. Well, we both have been bartenders before.
Yeah.
And so, just the romanticism of just, talking about the bourbons as
Right.
you're mixing and
Right,
then you're
right.
smoking it and you're
It's a vibe.
it really is.
Yeah, that's what I was saying
and
earlier.
I love Chartreuse. The place
Yeah.
is just
Where's
so
it at?
romantic.
Bonita?
Yeah, it's old 41.
Okay.
And so
Gosh, I feel like I've driven
when
by
I
it
called,
quite
I
a
talked to
few
Hannah, and Hannah,
Shout out Hannah.
we worked together a long time ago.
I work with a Hannah too.
Did you?
Love her.
I worked with Hannah and her mom. Isn't that wild?
Stop.
In different places.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I worked with her mom, and she had said something and had a smile, and I go,
Where's Hannah's mom work right now?
she's at the well, I can't say. She's
Okay.
off of 41 in Naples, very close to the Mercado.
Conversation later.
Anyway,
We can't tell you everything.
so I talked to Hannah and asked if they had mocktails, and she said they have a whole page, or
We're going.
or if you have something in mind, they can, of course, whip it up for you.
Right.
We did have something. Well, I had something great. You had a taste of it. Now, this is down in Naples on Fifth Avenue, but I didn't even know this existed.
Oh,
Non-alcoholic Aperol.
you guys.
Are you kidding me? I had
Appol Spritz, an NA Appol Spritz.
an amazing Aperol
It
Spritz,
was
and you couldn't
the
tell the
bomb.
difference. You could not
Yeah.
tell the difference.
It was so good.
It was so good.
See, and that's just it. It's part of the whole vibe of going out. I mean, you want to go out and have a good time, and not like I'm pretending like I'm drinking. It's just it's a social thing.
It
You want a
is.
good cocktail. You don't want to get drunk. You want to enjoy something like that before your dinner or whatever.
Exactly.
Or
Yeah.
I mean, so good.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. So, how do we know, like, when it's time to come back and when it's time to leave? How, like, I know, like, each season's different. At least my experience, and I was out talking to builders for my real estate yesterday, and one of the salespeople at the sales center for one builder said, this past season. Now it's summer right now, but he was talking the one that just ended was a little strange, don't you think? And
Yeah.
we kind of touched on that. Sometimes the seasons end earlier, and sometimes they go
I
on
feel like
a little later.
every season is so different. It's weird. Like the last 5 years, and now you've got. Let's factor in the hurricanes. Let's factor in.
Yeah,
s-
the economy.
Well, let's factor in the economy. Let's factor in how many more snowbirds are coming into. It's like doubled in the last. Okay, so the place I'm in now, I bought. I want to say 5 years ago. I've been coming and going for 20 plus years, seasonal work, and until I became a Naples resident. But I feel like there's double the snowbirds coming in now
Right.
compared to even 5 years ago. But so the seasons are changing as far as when do I start work, when do I leave. It started with me basically. I was chasing money.
Yeah.
So my season started when I showed up, and if they were still slow, I'd pick up shifts, and I'll work until, so we'll say season, generally, snowbirds are coming in like November 1st. Some early snowbirds are coming in October. They're getting settled in.
Right.
So with working in the restaurants, I found out a lot about snowbirds. You have the group that will come in. They've got, this is their life. They're 6 months and 6 months. That's some of my neighbors in the park I live in. And that's it. They'll show up October, November, and they'll stay until the end of April, the end of May, April. But then you have the ones that will come in, maybe set up camp, go back for the holidays, and then come back and forth, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And then you have the group that this is the big money for servers. Right at Christmas time,
Yep.
They're coming in. They had Christmas with their families. Now they're here solid from day after Christmas, maybe January 1st for sure,
January
until
1st for sure.
January, February, March, April even.
Well, yeah.
And April it starts
Easter
to
probably.
Yep, starts to dwindle.
You know,
But
Easter was, I think this was another thing too. Now that I think about it, Easter was early this past year.
it was.
So it was
I
in
feel
March.
like everything was early
Yeah.
this year.
So I think once Easter was over,
Yeah.
everyone was like, well,
What do we do now?
they're all
Yeah.
leaving
Yeah.
because Easter's over,
Mhm.
but we still have April,
Right.
you know, and then the whole spring breakers, that's a whole nother crowd. Those aren't people that stay here. Those are
Yeah.
the vacationers, you know,
Yeah.
and we love our vacationers too.
Yeah, we do. Thank you.
but it is, you know,
Thanks
I mean,
for paying my bills.
right, when you kind of depend on that,
Yeah,
that
you do.
money, and then all of a sudden, whoops, oh, they left early, and
Yeah.
now what do we do? But
Yeah.
yeah,
So I feel like it's been switching up a lot. So it's hard to say, but always, I mean, we're still slow at the restaurant. October, we'll start to see, more guests at the restaurant, and of course then the money, but
yeah,
so try and get stuff done now.
yeah.
But yeah.
Well, you see, like down here, the telltale sign are the car carriers. So,
Oh yeah.
if you're not from here, or maybe you are from here, but you only are a snowboard, so you never see them. But people ship their cars down from wherever, Northeast, Midwest, wherever they're coming from,
Yeah.
which I never understood that. I think if you're wealthy enough to own 2 homes,
Some people just don't want to drive.
I know, but why don't you have 2 cars? If you know you're coming back every year,
I know.
and you know there's
I
so
know.
many home
Or
watch,
they don't want to with
so
all the
many home watch
hurricanes. They don't want to
services.
leave their car in the driveway.
that's
Maybe
true.
that's it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's not drive. And then there's me who lives out of a van, and then I
Van by the river.
a van down by the river. Yeah. And I'm traveling all the time. Well, because when I go up to Michigan, I'm all over the place. So I'm camping, I'm hanging out with the kiddos, we're having a great time. And then I'll take off. Everywhere I go in Michigan is an hour to 3 hour drive to go see somebody, but then I'll hang out for a few days, and I love it. I found it has taken me years to figure out, navigate through. Okay, I'm a snowbird. Okay, now I live here. Now I'm
Yeah.
in my van. Now I'm traveling. But
Yeah.
for a lot of people, let me just say this: there's a lot of girls and guys that I talk to that they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so lucky." First, let me clarify that it's not luck. I have busted my butt, and
Yeah.
to make this happen, which is good. I'm not saying yay me, but it's hard in a sense. But if you really want it, it's not. So
Right.
just to make those decisions, but just know this: the work is here. So if you're figuring, you know what, I want to do that, I've always wanted to do that, you don't have to know anybody. Every server, not every, because you always got those couple you want to suck in the face.
Who, me?
Yeah, well, you laughed at me. I was just joking.
did.
And now we're like besties. But it's just a culture that, we embrace, now that I'm here, we embrace the new person. I mean, it's just, so don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid to make that move. Even if you don't have a corporate job,
Right.
Come down for a week or something and check out different places, because, people that say there's no work, there's so much work.
Right.
There's so many places. You could literally fly in and have a job that afternoon if you
Yeah.
have serving experience, even if you don't.
Definitely in
Yeah,
November,
even if you
December.
don't.
I mean, December is slow.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about, the car carriers and all that, and the people do come down now, mid-October. But these people are people that are getting ready.
Yeah.
So I know, Dee said the other day she was at CVS and the pharmacy line was 45-minute wait because the snowbirds come
Switching
down.
over, yeah.
They get all of their pharmaceuticals and they stock it up in their winter home, and then
Yeah.
they go home. They go home for Halloween,
Right.
Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Setting up camp. Yeah.
Yep, they
Setting
get it
up
all.
camp,
They get
going home,
clean,
coming back.
house cleaners,
Yep.
all the things.
Yep.
The hurricane shutters come off.
Yeah.
The
A
car
lot.
gets set in
Yeah,
the driveway.
lot to
or-
juggle.
Yeah, and so they just get it all set up, and then they go back
Yep.
and have their holidays with their families, and then they come back down
Yep. Yep.
permanently for the spring. So that's kind of like how we know. And then on the other side of that is April, when the car carriers come back.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it seems like every restaurant I've ever worked at, well, except for Bravo, because that's in a shopping area, but it seems like the car carriers always park like right in front of the restaurant. for whatever reason.
Really?
Load, unload. So you're just like, oh, God,
Oh, they're here.
There
Yeah.
goes my paycheck.
I
guess
haven't.
it's time to
I
go
haven't
north.
noticed that. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, they're picking up the cars. We got to find out. That's why I always have that other job, that RV detailing or
Yeah.
my jerky business
Yeah.
or something. I'm just a worker.
Yeah.
It's funny too because I just had a birthday. I won't tell you my age. Try and guess.
Put it in the comments.
So, yeah, be nice, be kind. I'm tired. I just traveled from Michigan, so be kind.
She did.
So,
she just got back last week.
I did, and I'm still trying to. I feel like a train wreck. I'm still trying to get used to the heat, number one, and just the whole. Like I've been seriously on vacation for 3.5 months. This is the first time I've done this where I didn't go back to Michigan and have a little part-time job or something because I like that money coming in, and I thought, you know what, I had a good year. I'm just gonna hang out,
Yeah.
and gosh, I had fun, but I'm so tired. I need to get back in my structure.
Yeah.
That'll be a good show.
You should do 75 hard.
No, I should
That'll
not.
get you in the
So
structure.
should
It'll get you
my-
in structure real quick.
Nope.
Yep. They don't call it hard for a reason.
Right. I'm gonna do 75.
Easy.
Just getting by. 75. Woke up at 7 o'clock. Yeah, that's a good start. Yeah, I don't know. I'll get there maybe.
You will.
I just need my structure back, my
Yeah.
circadian rhythm, my
Right.
vitamins. That's the only thing about traveling. You have to. It's hard to stay in your structure when
Yeah.
you're not in your house. I
Right.
take my vitamins at this time, having my protein shake at this time.
Yeah.
I wake up at this time, coffee at this time, but whatever. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this is always a rough week for me, the first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So what were we talking about?
I don't know. Your glamorous life.
My glamorous life. Yeah, that's what I was saying about when people say, "Oh, you're so lucky." I'm not lucky. I am blessed. I'll say that. I'm so blessed,
Yeah.
but that's all God. But I just started, like I said, going full circle in our conversation. I transferred over. I thought I'm going to give this a shot. I don't know, for some reason when I was a little kid, I thought I'm going to live in Florida one day. Never been here. I mean, maybe I saw something in a magazine,
Yeah.
someone laying in a hammock by a palm tree, and I said that looks good, but the ocean.
That's what we do here. We lay in hammocks by a palm tree.
I can't even tell you last time. You know when? In Michigan. That's when I lay in hammocks. When
Not by
I'm here,
palm tree.
it's hamster wheel, man. We're working.
It is,
right?
and that's the thing I wanted to bring up too, because when you said, the glamorous life, and everybody says it. No, really, really, really bust your butt. It's hard work, and it's big money, but it's only
Right.
for
Right.
4 5 months
Right.
if you're lucky,
Right.
and you better sock it away. Don't go
It
out
is
on
kind
a
of
spending spree and all
rough.
that, because
Yeah.
you never know how the summer's going to
Yeah.
go. And if you're staying here in the summer and you're a server,
Yeah.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's not hard if you love it. I feel like I love the
if you
energy
can get
of them.
shifts.
Yeah.
They go from, I've worked at places where they
Yeah.
went from a staff of like 35 down to 7.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. In season, in season, the money's sick. I mean, it's fantastic.
Right.
But
And
then
it's
you
hard
got
work.
you got a budget, just like anything else.
yeah.
But if you're crazy like us, you love it. I love it. Like I was saying earlier, I just had a birthday, and I'm supposed to be thinking about what am I? I'm going to retire soon, and I'm not. I love what I do. I really do.
Yeah.
It's the whole vibe. It's it's the people. It's the energy of Florida.
Yeah.
It's crazy how. And nothing against Michigan. It's just something about the Florida vibe. People are my job. I can have the same job, like whether it was Olive Garden or Bravo or wherever I was, the same exact job, make triple the money here and enjoy doing it more. And I think it's the vibe of, my guests at the restaurant they're on vacation or they're retired or it's the sunshine.
Yeah.
It's the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's the atmosphere. And there's mocktails.
Mocktails and NA beer.
Mocktails.
And not just O'Doul's anymore.
That's right.
Who did I call that had O'Doul's? I got it off the list.
Oh, that's
I'm
funny.
going to call you
'Cause
out.
that's- Yeah.
I'm going to call you out and tell you right now that
When I quit
change.
drinking, while you're looking that up, I
Yeah.
quit drinking, and all that there was O'Doul's and O'Doul's Amber, which I love.
Bonefish. Shame on you.
Uh-oh.
Bonefish Grill.
What did Bonefish do?
The only NA beer they have is O'Doul's.
Oh, come
They
on.
need to step up their game.
Yeah.
You know who has...
We need to go talk to them.
Now, they didn't say this when I called and did my research, but Rooftop at Riverside,
Yeah.
Have you been there yet?
No.
We got to go.
All these places I haven't
Okay,
been.
well, we're
Jen's
going.
out there.
I know.
She's out there.
I'm
She's
everywhere.
running them streets.
I am. I do too. I don't ever sit still. Rooftop at Riverside, when I first went there, and I'm hoping they still have
Did
it.
we go there that one day when we went to that farmer's market?
We popped in.
Yeah.
And I got the
They
beer.
had any beer?
They
Yeah.
have mango cart. Hello.
That's right.
Have you had mango beer? This is NA mango beer.
Yeah.
Game changer.
I did try it.
Game
I do
changer.
remember.
It's delicious.
Yeah, I remember that place.
They had that, and they had
Yeah.
Stella, I think. Yeah, they did have Stella Zero.
Stella.
Well, because the first time I went there, a friend of mine was in town from Colorado, and I go, oh, you got to go check this place out. It's really cool. They have food trucks. They have like little yard games in the back.
It was a cool vibe.
Yeah, and I said I want a Stella Zero. Well, he didn't hear the zero.
Oh no!
This was how in tune I was with not drinking alcohol. I knew
First sip,
First sip. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, and then I took another sip.
No, I know.
And then I looked at the label and I'm like, no, I said zero.
Yeah.
It's just really
I was
crazy.
at Carrabba's and I ordered a tiramisu. This was years ago. I had just quit drinking and I went with a friend of mine. We were going to have tiramisu and lattes, right? And just a nice little visit. So I'm sitting there and I was about 2 bites in to the tiramisu. And I didn't feel good. I like instantly.
Wow.
Like hot flash and felt weird. And I called the server over and I said, hey, excuse me, is there alcohol in this tiramisu? There's not alcohol in the tiramisus that where I work now or the one before, restaurant before. But so I asked the server, was there alcohol? And she laughed at me and she said, oh my gosh, a bunch. And walked away. Yeah, she said a bunch and walked away.
Was it on the menu?
I would know, and I was upset. I'm like, what if our kids eting this?
Right.
Because I literally got ill, and but that was my first experience, because
What was it? Just like a
what do they use?
like a coffee
Rum?
liqueur?
Like
or
a coffee
something?
liqueur or something, yeah, or a brandy or both.
Oh my
A bunch,
gosh.
she said. Could have been a bunch of rum.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I was upset because I thought, if you're not telling people that you're just served a non-drinker,
And the kids.
that's
the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd laugh at that now because sobriety, I'm all about it. But back then, I was mad.
I bet.
What do you got? You got a surprise?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So we're coming to the end of our program
Uh-oh.
here. Yeah, the end of the buzz. We
Wrap it up.
buzzed it up, but I wanted to give you a gift.
Stop it! Ooh, Jen knows I love a hat.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
if you come on my
Bonita
podcast,
Buzz.
on my show, you get
Get a
some
hat.
swag. Now here's my thing: is it
Love
swag
it.
or is it merch? I think it's merch if you buy it, and swag if
It's
you get it
swaggy
for
merch.
free.
It's swaggy merch.
Swaggy merch. New term here.
That is cool, you guys.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you want a Bonita Buzz hat, come on the show.
Thank you. I love
Yeah.
you.
Oh, I love you too.
Aw.
So okay, well that's it for this episode, and we'll see you next time on the Bonita Buzz.
Thank you.